Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Founder and Mother podcast. I am really excited to have you with me today because we're going to be talking about one of my favourite topics and something that I know is an absolute game changer for any business owner. So I'm really stoked to be sharing it with you all. And that is the concept of MVP. Which stands for minimum viable product. It does not stand for most valuable player in this circumstance. So if you're thinking it's an American football acronym, then sorry to disappoint you, but there is a lot of value in it regardless. As I said, it's one of the most exciting topics for me because I think there is so much value in an MVP mindset, which is what I'm going to explain to you. And it's something that's had a huge impact with businesses and founders that I've worked with before. So if you listened to the previous episode, hopefully by now you have that one-page business plan ready to go. And today's episode is all about how to take that idea and turn it into reality without the overwhelm and without any major investment of time or money. And that's exactly how MVP kind of comes into play. So I'm stoked to be talking about it with you. So let's dig into it. What is MVP? It's a term that's been around for a really long time and something that I learned a few years ago whilst I was working with tech teams in Melbourne. These are the teams that are creating digital products or apps and building software. And it describes a product that has been minimally developed, but still meets the needs of the market. So the idea behind MVP is that you build or develop a minimal offering with the goal of getting something to market and in front of your customers as quickly as possible. Because once you have something in front of your customers to react to, you can test ideas, you can learn what your customers want, and you can adapt and evolve your product with such refinement that it's ideal for the market, and that's what we call product market fit. And in that way, although MVP is part of an agile technology-based approach to building digital products, it absolutely relates to non-technical businesses as well, because to me, and this is the key that I think so many founders are unable to unlock, the concept of MVP isn't just a way that we build products or build businesses, it's actually an ethos, it's a mantra. And it's something that you can refer back to constantly when you're thinking about what do I need to do next in order to get my business off the ground or grow it. So having an MVP mindset really is about challenging yourself to find the quickest and simplest way to get your product or your business in front of customers. I think that mindset really moves you from feeling stuck and maybe overwhelmed into feeling a bit more action oriented because it removes the barriers of lots of time investment and lots of cost. So how can you incorporate an MVP mindset into your business? I think the easiest way, and one that we'll talk about today, is to ask yourself, what is the quickest, easiest, cheapest way to test this idea in front of the right customers? So that might include challenging yourself to think innovatively about launching your business without a fancy website, without investing lots of money into different stock options if you're thinking of running an e-commerce business, without spending hours writing copy to promote your business, and without building an app if that was part of your business plan, and without hiring or spending lots of money on outsourcing. The side note here is that this thinking is likely going to be in stark contrast to the way in which you're thinking that your business would launch, which is most likely in its most perfect form. It's an opportunity for us to really embrace a concept of imperfect action, which is that striving for excellence in the right direction is better than waiting for everything to be perfect until we do anything, because that means we will do nothing. So MVP is really about what are the smallest, easiest, cheapest steps we can take in the right direction. They're going to keep us moving and help us learn and test as we go. So let me give you an example, and this is just one example. We are going to be talking about MVP throughout these podcast episodes because it's something that for me is such a game changer. But here's one example, and it's how I am launching Founder and Mother, the business course. So I have got a really clear vision of what I want the website to look like for Founder and Mother. I think I know exactly what the course needs to include to help empower mums to build those businesses that they love. But I'm not going to launch with either of those things. Instead of creating the product that I think customers want, or that you, people that are listening, want, I'm going to ask you what you want, and I'm going to validate whether or not my thinking is correct. And I'm going to do all of that before I invest any time or very much money at all. And that might sound really simple, that I'm just going to ask you what you want before I start to create something, but it is so surprising how many businesses don't do that. And I'm not just talking about small businesses, very large, huge corporate businesses also have an idea for products they want to build, and they build them without much input from customers. So asking customers what they want and adapting your business to suit those needs is a pretty big game changer, and that's what I'm going to do first of all. So how did I do that, and how am I going to do that? For me, asking my customers what they want from an online business course is looks like me creating a short survey. So I used Google Forms. It's a completely free tool. If you use Google Drive or any of the Google Suite, you will be able to access it. I created a really short, I think less than 10 question survey, a couple of multiple choice and a couple of like long form text, so I can get some quotes from customers. That's going to help me validate what I think customers want, and also get some quotes for them, which will be really useful for me when I do start to build my website and in the future when I'm creating kind of other things that will help sell and promote my business. Knowing that the way in which I'm going to launch is via a survey and some smaller things like this podcast makes it so much easier for me to move forward, because I don't have these huge milestones in front of me of building an amazing website, having lots and lots of pages, writing lots of copy, putting out 5 or 6, podcasts or having videos. I've got small, manageable, bite-sized steps that firstly make it quite easy for me to move forward, but also keep the door open for as much feedback from my target audience as possible. And so that is really critical. When I do go to launch my big fancy website, which I hope to do very soon, I'm going to do it knowing exactly what my customers want, and I'm going to make sure that that's really well reflected. So I've had the opportunity to test, learn and iterate, which are 3 other really important concepts when it comes to working in an agile way, which is some of the lessons that I'm trying to bring through from the tech world that I've worked with before. So that is the final benefit. That brings me to the final benefit of MVP, which is adaptability and flexibility. Imagine I had spent thousands on creating an amazing website. I'd written all this copy, spent hours and hours writing it, and then I went out to market, spoke to some people and said, hey, if you're thinking of, starting an online course, here's a website to look at. And what I'd written was completely different to what they wanted, and they gave me that feedback. My investment of time and money is going to make me probably quite reluctant to change. It's going to make it hard for me to take on their feedback. And ultimately, it's going to make it really hard for me to find that product market fit. But because I'm only going out with a minimal amount of investment and a minimal amount of assets kind of online, like not having a huge website, I'm much more open to change, and I'm much more likely to be able to incorporate that feedback. So adaptability and flexibility is really, really critical. So to recap, an MVP mindset really is the foundation for sustainable business ownership for 3 reasons. You'll get to market quicker because you do the minimum possible to still get that maximum input. It means that you're flexible to change as you learn more about your customers, because you haven't made a huge investment and you've actually taken the time to ask them what it is that they want. And it really builds in that action-oriented mindset for you as a founder, because you'll see growth in manageable steps rather than these big jumps and leaps that can seem a bit overwhelming. As I said, MVP is going to feature in everything we talk about from now on, and this really was the episode to kind of listen to get a sense of what I'm talking about. The example I've given is just one. There are thousands of ways that you can think really innovatively about what to do next in your business that doesn't cost lots of money and doesn't take heaps of time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Founder and Mother Show, where we dig a little bit deeper into MVP mindset. I really hope it's given you some food for thought, and I can't wait to catch up with you next. The next episode is going to follow my journey of building the Founder and Mother brand, and actually is going to start talking about customers and how we get really sure and really targeted on who it is that we want to buy the products that we're creating or the services we're creating. So hope to see you next time. Thanks.